Okay, we're talking Lara Croft, the other Lara Croft. How are you guys doing? How's your Gamescom been?
It's been a great show so far. We actually had the game out on the show floor. The fans have been lining up for it. They've been playing the 4-player co-op, so it's been a great show.
Okay, now we first experienced it at E3, we played the build there, so I understand it's a similar build to that, but there's a few extra licks on top of it. What's the new stuff?
Yeah, so we've been showing off some brand new stuff here. Probably one of the biggest changes in the game is actually showing off a little bit more of the co-opetition. So it is a 4-player cooperative experience, still working together to get through the tombs, but the different points that the players are getting, when you get to the end of the round, we actually put you guys up on podiums, and then whoever's scoring the highest, we give you additional gems, and you could use those gems to unlock treasure chests at the end of each of the tombs. So the more gems you have, the more chests you could open. It ties into our loot system.
Now, talking about that, obviously Lara Croft's whole history is a very serious series. This is more arcadey feel, but you want to retain those aspects that are quintessential to the character and to the franchise. Just wondering where you guys draw the line, trying to go, right, this is a lot of fun, but is this right for the character?
Well, I mean, the great thing about it is, this is a sequel to Guardian of Light, and in Temple of Osiris, we do go a bit big in terms of especially some of the bosses that we have. So for fans that have watched the trailer, we have the huge scarab beetle, Kepri, and anything goes at that point. So this is definitely a game that doesn't try to take itself too seriously. It's a classic Lara Croft adventure. So you're challenging gods, you're fighting through Egyptian mythology here, so it's more about fun gameplay and offering up an experience that you could play, with your friends.
Now you guys sort of snuck out this, when I say snuck out this announcement, bangers were everywhere for the game, alongside obviously Rise of Tomb Raider. Yeah. I'm just curious to know, what's been, I'd say, probably the most unique feedback you've had since that announcement from fans? Has anything been surprising for you?
Not much. I mean, the fans have reacted pretty positive to having a sequel to Guardian of Light. That came out 4 years ago, and every year, it keeps going by. You keep seeing on the forums, when can we expect another Guardian? When can we expect another Guardian? Can Lara swim this next time around? So you start cherry picking all those things, and now that we're delivering that experience and the fans are getting a chance to play it, it's just been a positive reaction. So the team back at the office loves the feedback that we're getting, and we're still doing a couple little tweaks based off of that feedback, since we still have a few months to go before the game releases.
Excellent. Now, the original game, like I said, Guardian of Light, was very much a how you guys relax, which sounds completely crazy after you wrapped up with Underworld, right? So with this, given that there's other projects in the work, which we won't talk about, obviously, but what's the team setup then? How many of you guys are working on this, or how's Crystal Dynamics divided up to work on this?
Sure. So, when we were working on that game and wrapped it up, we actually had ideas back then for what a sequel could be. In this case, going back to that classic Egyptian setting, the fans have wanted Lara to go back there for a while. But obviously we're a little distracted by a certain game called Tomb Raider that rebooted, as well as the definitive edition that came out earlier. We looked at the lineup. We were, of course, pushing a lot of next-gen technology, building out a new engine, and we thought this was the perfect time to bring Lara back. We also, on the team, it's a pretty small team, nimble team, but we have a lot of veterans from the original Guardian of Light. So like Jeff Wages, one of our level designers, he's back and making some crazy puzzles and challenge tombs. Ryan Goldsberry, Caleb Strauss, a number of guys that were on the original project, and just very eager to put out a brand new adventure.
Excellent. Can we talk sort of trophies, achievements? Sure. What's going on?
Well, one of the great things about switching over to next gen as well is we've actually opened up the number of achievements that you could have. So even though Guardian was more of a digital PSN XBLA experience, now we actually are able to fit on some of the platforms up to 1,000 points of achievements. Fun stuff in there. There are ones that are tied to just completing the tombs and the basic progression. There's also a lot of fun ones that are tied into that 4-player co-opetition in there. Which player ends the tomb with the highest score? Who had the most deaths, all that sort of stuff.
Well, with the trophies and achievements, I mean, designing trophies and achievements is fairly easy processing itself, but the real great about it is making something that is fun for fans and extends the sort of lifespan of the game, or alters it so people will play it slightly differently. I mean, do you guys go into the game with a few ideas tinkering around to extend that?
Sure, and like you said, I mean, achievements, they're a great way, trophies as well, in order to push the fans to try out different things, because a lot of fans will go in there, they'll take a look at it, they'll see the descriptions like, oh, I could do that, and I could unlock this thing. We also have in the game challenges, so each of the tombs have specific in-game challenges that have rewards for them. For instance, we have these time bombs that you have to push around the world in order to blow open a door at the end of a puzzle, and one of the challenges might be, hey, you actually have to use your bombs in order to move that time bomb around as opposed to pushing it. And if you complete that challenge, we give you a brand new amulet or a ring, something that gives you a special ability. So you're exactly right. It's the sort of thing that we could use to push players to try and discover things that they otherwise might not find along the critical path.
It keeps very close to the design of the original game in terms of the gameplay mechanics, a few extra twists and tweaks. But over the development process, have you guys tried to expand or try different things just to see how far you could take it? And was this then sort of brought back into the original idea, closer to the original idea, or was it just very much, we know what works, we're going to stick with it?
Well, Guardian was very much our starting point. There was a lot of things that the fans loved about that game. You know, things like the physics puzzles, pushing the balls around. In those areas, we look to add a bit more depth in there. Now we have different types of balls that you could push around and solve for puzzles, like the time bombs that we were talking about, sun balls that could light up darker tombs and things like that. But at the same time, we also wanted to add in some new things. This is the first time that now Lara's able to jump into the water and start swimming again. So there's brand new puzzles and tombs that are themed around different new features. We also introduce a new weapon, the Staff of Osiris. So this thing actually shoots out a light beam. So we have some puzzles where you're reflecting that light beam off of different mirrors inside of there, you know, kind of those classic Egyptian-style puzzles. So it offers up something fresh and new. Also expanding to 4 players, that gives us an opportunity to now have 4 people be a part of solving those puzzles. And the game still plays great on single player, but if you play it in 2, 3, 4 players, the puzzles will actually change around. So it's kind of like having 4 games in one.
You're at Gamescom, we're wrapping up now. The game comes out very soon. What have you got between now and then to do?
Sure. So the game comes out on December 9th on Xbox One, PS4, as well as the PC. So we're still doing a lot of wrapping up on the game, a little bit of polish in there. Just like we talked about earlier, you know, between E3 and now, we were looking at how fans were playing the game when we were demoing on the show floor. Wanted to add in a little tweaks there to make that co-op experience a little bit more competitive with each other. So we're still definitely doing a lot of testing. We're still definitely doing some tweaking, and we're looking forward to putting out the game here pretty soon.
Listen, thanks very much for taking the time to talk to us. All the best.
Yeah, our pleasure.